What's going on, everyone? So I see a lot of Laker fans that through the comment sections have been like, I really hope that the Hornets win this kind of trial or whatever in order to land Mark Williams. And I get it, right? Right now you're dealing with Jackson Hayes and Alex Len. And Alex Len did not look good by any stretch of the imagination with the Lakers in that first game. I do want to be patient with Alex Len. It's the first game. Guy just got off the plane, probably in Indiana, right? Wasn't a guy that's played much in the last few years anyway, kind of been a spot guy who's now coming in and immediately had to play a big role, right? Didn't know the playbook, didn't know the offensive schemes, the defense schemes, nothing, right? Like came in, rebounded the ball well in that time, and yet it's still like, we love Mark Williams. But here's something that I really want to hit on and address. And, I talked about in a previous video, right? Like Mark Williams, would it be the worst deal if the Lakers ended up landing Mark Williams? And I talked about, no, to me, it's a win-win situation for the Lakers. If the Lakers end up pulling out and not having to take Mark Williams, then they have all their assets and they'll address the center position in the offseason. Not really worried about it. But if worst case scenario, they have to go through with the trade, you still get a 23-year-old, and yes, there's injury concerns, but you kind of manage that and you figure that out, right? But he's a guy that even the Lakers have said, could help right now. They're just concerned about the long term, right? Him holding up in the long term. But something that I didn't really talk about and hit on that just through the conversations that I've had with you all in the comment section, I've really want to hit on, yes, I don't think it's the end of the world if the Lakers end up landing Mark Williams. But we also don't know what those concerns that the Lakers have are. And that's something we really have to keep in mind. Yes, we all would love to have Mark Williams. There's a part of all of us, even myself, that's like, hey, I kind of do want this to come through and just see if we can go win a championship or two. But you also have to keep in mind, Lakers were desperate for a center at this point. Lakers were scouring, trying to get anybody that they could for their franchise center. Supposedly, they offered the same package for a Walker Kessler, as well as a Jalen Duren, right, from the Detroit Pistons, right? Either of those guys would have been great as well. Kessler's just so good, man. But obviously, they got shot down. Mark Williams, Charlotte was the one team that called the Lakers and were like, hey, we'll take that package. We'll take that deal, and you can have Mark Williams. One, there's a reason Mark Williams was on the trade block from Charlotte. There's a reason Charlotte picked up that phone and made that call to the Lakers. They're worried about the long-term health for Mark Williams. So you have them that have the concerns, because you don't just trade a 23-year-old center who's putting up 16 and 10 and has been a monster when healthy for, yes, it was a good package, a bit of an overpay in my opinion, but still, that's still something you just don't do, right? For especially a young team that's trying to rebuild for now and the future, because now they got to go find a new center for their franchise, right? The Dallas Mavericks did the same thing with Luka. Now, obviously, Luka and Mark Williams are not in the same stratosphere, but that was why Dallas did what they did with Luka, because they were concerned about his long term. Right now, they're like, yeah, dude, the guy's top 3 player in the league, but what is he 5 years from now? And that's what Charlotte is looking at with this move with Mark Williams. But the concern is, what is it that the Lakers found? Because you got to keep in mind, right? The Lakers' desperation, the Lakers needing a center, the Lakers getting a 23-year-old monster as the center. Why wouldn't the Lakers do that? Even if they got cold feet, right? Even if you do believe it was a great overpay, Mark Williams is good enough for that overpay. It made sense. It was justifiable. Nobody was like, man, what are the Lakers doing? Everyone was like, even other organizations, even the media and stuff were like, dude, Lakers might win the championship this year, right? The general consensus, there was a thought. I'm sure that there were random Laker haters out somewhere that were like, Lakers are still gonna suck. But deep down in their mind, they're like, dude, Lakers are really good, right? Everybody thought that. We're all excited. We were all pumped. Lakers were super pumped. Rob Pelinka even spoke on it and said, hey, we're good. The back end issue, the foot issue. Hey, we read his physicals and stuff from Charlotte, and things checking out, things look good. And then they did theirs, and they found something, whatever that is, right? I don't believe that the Lakers just got cold feet and backed out, right? Because it doesn't make sense for them to do that. They desperately need a center. And they knew the injury issues. They found something, which is why I think the NBA is not going to force the Lakers to do it, because the Lakers are going to have that data. They're going to have those reports that they're going to be able to show to the league and go, no, this is why, right? And Charlotte's saying he's healthy now. Lakers are saying, yes, he's healthy now, but we're worried about the long term. And Charlotte hasn't given him a physical in probably a month, right? Because they haven't had a reason to. He's been playing, right? Like the Lakers did the physical because they're the ones giving up the assets to make the trade. And my concern is, what is that? And the problem is, we're probably never going to know what it was because you can't just release that, right? I see so many people that are like, why don't the Lakers just tell everybody what it is? Because you can't. You have, confidentiality. Like, that's a good way to get sued. And, that'd be a disaster for the doctors to get disbarred. Like, it'd be a mess. I mean, you'd have something far more than basketball on your hands if that information was to be made public, right? Because again, just like why your doctor can't just come out and be like, John has these medical issues, so you should probably stay away from, no, you can't do that, right? And so Charlotte is looking at this as like, dude, the Lakers just tanked his value, right? Like this is a Hail Mary for them. But from the Lakers standpoint, they obviously have enough concerns to not want to do this. And that's where my dilemma lies, because yes, as much as we'd all love to see Mark Williams back, as much as we all love, or not back, but, with the Lakers, if that medical concern is big enough, then no, right? Because what happens if he comes back, he plays 5 games or something, and then he's out for the year for major injury? Everybody, even the people that are screaming for that to go through, and all the comments of, I'm a Laker fan, but I really want the Hornets to win this trial and blah, 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 right? Like, all those same people are going to be like, why? This isn't fair. Like, all those same people are going to be furious if again, there is a reason, and very likely a very good reason, why the Lakers did not take him, because it doesn't make sense. Even if it was just a little concern. Because if the Lakers were like, hey, he's probably going to be healthy for the next 3 years, right? You probably still make the trade and figure it out 3 years from now, especially when you start getting more firsts and stuff like that. You can figure it out from there. But if you win a championship or two, and the time you land Mark Williams, right? Let's say the Lakers win the championship this year and go back-to-back next year. Who cares? Even if Mark Williams falls apart the third year, you got your value. Right? Like, because you just won multiple championships, right? Like the Andrew Bynum situation. Lakers still got championships out of it. And they turned Andrew Bynum into Dwight Howard, which, he ultimately left, and that became a disaster. But at the time, it made a ton of sense, right? And the Lakers might still be able to get value for Mark Williams, especially if they win it and he does start to kind of decline. There's probably a team out there, because at that point he'd probably be 26, 27. Probably teams out there that'd be like, hey, we'll take a chance on him, and you probably not get a bunch of firsts and stuff for him, but maybe get a heavily protected first, or a couple seconds or something if push came to shove and you need to get off of him, right? Because he is young enough, and especially if you win some championships with him and he looks like a monster, and Luka's able to make him like an all-star caliber center, right? Like, you're going to get paid, right? He's going to get a bag. Teams are going to be interested in him, all of that. And if the Lakers kind of manage his injuries, then the Lakers will be in good shape. But clearly, the Lakers found something that they do not like, and enough for that to scare them away from making this trade for a guy that they, again, desperately need. This isn't a guy that they just, hey, it'd be an added luxury. It's like, oh, no, this is just icing on the cake. This is just cherry on top. No, like, Lakers literally don't have a starting caliber center. Jackson Hayes has been solid. He's realistically probably the third backup on a contending team. Alex Len might not even be in the league next year, right? Like, again, like, there is a lot here at stake, and you're trying to win a championship now, and the Lakers are probably good enough to win a championship, especially if they could get Mark Williams. Even if you just thought Mark Williams would be good just this season, and it's like, hey, he'll be healthy this season, there is an argument to be made of doing that deal and getting that deal done immediately, because you might be able to win a championship this year, right? But again, clearly the Lakers believe that that is a big enough risk to avoid making that move. And that's where my concern is. That's where the dilemma lies, in my opinion. And that's where I think the Lakers are like, hold up, right? Obviously, I would love to know what it is. I'd love for that to be public information. It can't be. And it's probably never going to be, right? The Lakers aren't going to be able to reveal that information. And Charlotte is what's probably going to happen is the NBA is going to say, hey, sorry, life sucks. Lakers don't want to do it. They don't have to do it. And Charlotte's going to be upset. I don't think that they waive him. There's a lot of talks about like, oh, maybe they'll waive him. I don't think so. But it's just something to keep an eye on. But I want people to keep in mind. Yes, we all want Mark Williams on the Lakers. But I trust the Lakers, health department, especially with the new regime under Dr. Sims and stuff like that, to go like, hey, this is something we need to avoid, right? So, again, just keep that in mind. But anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. Do you agree with me, disagree with me, kind of mixed in the middle? However you feel, either way, I'd love to hear it. But just, again, please keep in mind that the Lakers, I really want to stress this, that the Lakers are probably right about this. I don't think the Lakers would just say no to this for no reason. But anyway, let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.